Hi everyone, Tom here, Hayden. I'm from the Physio Inc. Sutherland team. Just here to talk to you about some things that we did this season as a clinic. We all got involved in different sports and different levels this winter sports season. We've done warm-up and cool-down drills, education sessions on stretching and injury prevention. We've done baseline concussion testing as a team. We've also done some education to coaches and managers on warm-ups and concussion management as well, and identification. So it's been a big winter sports season, as it always is. But then this year, something new that we've added into the program was actually going and doing some testing as a cohort, like testing an entire team on our AxIT force plate and dynamometry system to see if mostly we were looking to decide, are there some deficits as a group, as a cohort, that then might put them at risk of an injury, but then also could be affecting their performance. And the goal with these sessions was to try to get some information that we could give some tangible advice back to the coaches and give some specific exercises to do to address those specific deficits so that we could reduce injury risk and increase performance as a team. And then the goal was then after they would implement that for 6 weeks, then we would come back and retest them and see if they've improved. Hayden did a good job in deciding what we're going to do, because testing a lot of the whole team and trying to smash that out was quite a challenge. Just tell us a bit about how we actually logistically did it on the day.
It's definitely tough because you've got to be able to fit it into their usual session as well. You can't just take up all the training. So we had to be pretty specific. So we chose a few different exercises or tests that we could do within a timely manner, but they were also really relevant to AFL specifically for them and for their age group. So basically the demands of the sport, we ended up going with a knee extension, so testing the straightening strength of the leg, the knee flexion, a squat jump, because obviously it's super important as well to have that good power there, as well as a counter movement jump, and then a shoulder strength test as well. So they were the ones that we come up with and that we're able to fit into the session timing wise. Mm-hmm. So basically we just got them to do their regular warm-ups that we'd helped set up previously, so that they were feeling really good, ready to go, but weren't too fatigued either. And then in groups of 2, we had the 2 different setups going at one time, and then just took them individually through these different tests.
Yeah, so we were lucky. We've got the AxIT testing and dynamometry system at each of their clinics, both Anglin and Sutherland. So we took them both down, had them on field side, had 3 clinicians there and just smashed them out. So I think we were doing 6 minutes per player, wasn't it?
That was sort of the time frame.
Yeah, and they had 2 going at a time. So then we were able to get through the whole team in one session. It was really interesting seeing the results. So Hayden's got this. We're doing some data analysis and helped us to find out what to focus on.
So after our first testing session with the under 15 boys, the 2 main ones that we found that were the biggest, I guess, ones that they sort of need to work on were the knee extension, where we found that at least 76% of them had one side that was sort of weaker than ideal, and then on the knee flexion as well. There were some of the other tests where there was a little bit to work on too, but we figured for this kind of thing, we wanted to get the most bang for our buck with our exercises and compliance and everything. So picking those 2 was the key for the under 15 boys.
So that was a pretty big one, 76%. So, and you look at that as a physio and you're like, well, the injury risk is going to be higher, especially because it's around the knee, and knee injuries are one of the biggest injuries in AFL players at that age. So it was like low-hanging fruit, so we're like, let's go get it.
Definitely. And then when we tested the under 15 women's, then we also found the knee extension as well for them. Not quite as big as the boys, still 46% though, so that's pretty significant. That had at least one side that was weak. But for them, it was also the shoulder too was the big one. So when we were testing in that position, they had 43% that were at least one side weak for them.
So I guess it's important we didn't say, but what we're comparing them to is our system allows us to actually compare people according to gender, age, height, and weight. So it gathers data all over the world of all the sporting teams, strength and conditioning coaches, some physios as well, using this software, and it actually collates all that together. So we have a really good pool of thousands and thousands of tests, so that we know when we test them, it grades them and shows us whether or not they're off the bottom of the chart, they're in the red zone, which means that most people are better than them. Orange zone, you're similar to everyone else, but then green zone, you're a little bit above people that are similar age, height, gender, and weight as well. So really good data that we can compare them to and expectations. It's not just us just assuming people are weak. It's actually really, really good data that we're comparing them to.
So based on that, we obviously had to give them some exercises that they could implement into their usual training in a way that it was enough of a dosage that they're actually going to see some improvement and enough time for them to work on it before we retested them so that we could see some change in their strength. And for the boys, with their exercises to be able to fit into their regular training routine, we ended up giving them step-up exercise as well as some hamstring bridges as the key ones to focus on. And then for the women's teams, it was the step-ups as well, but then the push-ups for that shoulder strength help improve there.
Now we gave them some slight variations, especially with the women's one on push-up variations to make it harder and easier. With the boys, actually I can insert a video, I think maybe somewhere, of the boys doing their step-ups, because at their home training ground at the Bombers, they've got this large concrete step, and that was perfect for hard quad work. And then hamstring work, you just do that lying on the ground, so it was easy. But we did give them an alternative for the step-ups if they were at an away game and there was nothing to step up onto, and that was kind of like a reverse lunge. And then with the women's, it was actually interesting. We weren't able to come and see them in real life because it got rained out and then they had some other events on. So we ended up recording that for them, and I'll put a little video here as well of the push-up variations and then also the quad work that they got to have as well. And we actually ended up recording that, putting that into a YouTube video and then sending that to the parents and the team so that they could work on that as well. Cool. And then we went back, what was it, 7 weeks later in the end to go and check up?
It was hard with school holidays to time when people were going to be there again. And we ended up catching most of the same players that we got early on too. I think coming up to finals, a lot of them were pretty keen and everyone was turning up. So we did manage to get some pretty good data in terms of being able to retest those same players that have been working on it for that good chunk of time. And so for the under 15 boys, we ended up seeing that there was 36% less players that had the weak knee extension. So that's a really good result there. Yeah. And similar with 34% less players had the weak knee flexion after that period of time on the retesting too. So that was really great to see.
It was really good to see them improving even after a relatively short period of time. I think that and what was interesting, what the stats don't show, because we're giving data as a whole here as a whole team, but what the data doesn't show is that pretty sure almost every single player individually, when we looked at them, had an improvement, which was really good to see, especially considering it was later in the season when we actually expect people to start to get a bit of fatigue coming in as well. So we're really happy to see that individually people were improving. So overall as a team, 34% improvement is great as well, but it's good to see that individually too. Cool. And the women's team we're not being able to follow up with just yet, but we're hoping to be able to do that in the not too distant future and see them improving their shoulder strength and their quad strength as well. That's the summary. So it's been a fun project. I think the coaches have enjoyed it and the players as well.
Yeah, I think they all liked seeing that big jump up, and a lot of them went from down in the yellow or the red up into the green, and I think that meant a bit to them.
It's really satisfying seeing those numbers improve. I think it was really nice to see the coaches helping to drive and implement it as well. I guess it's important to note that we discussed it already, but we just focused on the main deficits and brought it down just to 2 exercises each. So we calculated, and it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to get those exercises done per training session. And we told them that they get a gold star if they did 1 session at home as well, making it 3 times a week, and that'll get you better results as well. But that was good. I really think that it's going to be worth rolling out to some more teams. It's a bit of an opt-in program where we're not forcing it on coaches and teams. It's more of a, if you're interested, then get in touch, and we're happy to roll it out and come and volunteer some time to see some people improving their performance and reducing injury risk. Anyway, touch bases next season, and we're looking forward to working with everyone again. See ya.